Welcome back to Time Served, the channel that scans the docket so you don't have to listen. I get it, times are tough and we may do things that we would not normally do. However, why do I get this sinking feeling? Miss Martinez has done this many times before. However, her fraud is not the highlight of this clip. The fact that Judge Boyd cannot hear her is amazing, and a frustrated Judge Boyd leads to a great video. This babbling bad mama writes fraudulent checks and her throat hurts too much to admit guilt.
I think I'm getting the black lung, Bob.
Tell us what you think of Miss Martinez and just stop by to say hello by commenting down below. Like and subscribe, set your notifications to all. Let's roll, nerds.
There?
I'm here.
All right, thank you. All right, we are back on the record. All right, Ms. Martinez, I'm going to show you what's entitled True Bill of Indictment. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? All right, you're going to have to speak up. I can't hear a head shake. All right. Defense, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
We waive it, Judge.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
Judge, proceeding on the lesser included offense of attempted fraudulent use or possession of identifying information, one item to less than 5 items.
Any objection?
No objections, Judge. Was that your computer, Hunter?
Thankfully not.
But hey, it's still Thursday and we're laughing. It's an afternoon. All right, Ms. Martinez, I'm going to show you what's entitled Court Admonishments. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you electronically sign it in all the appropriate places?
Oh, we couldn't hear you, Marcy.
Yes, ma'am.
There you go.
All right. Did you understand that what you were originally charged with was fraudulent use or possession of identifying information less than 5 items, which was a state jail felony? The range of punishment is 180 days, up to 2 years in the state jail facility, and up to $10,000 fine. The state is proceeding on the lesser included offense of attempted fraudulent use or possession of identifying information, 1 to 5 items. That is a Class A misdemeanor. The range of punishment is up to a $4,000 fine and up to 1 year in the Bexar County Jail. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Why do people always move around when they're on Zoom? I mean, are we shooting a video? Is this behind the scenes of Apocalypse Now? And I know I'm showing my age and people haven't seen Apocalypse Now, but hopefully, thank you, Miguel Nahara. I think you're shaking your head that you've seen it. The rest of the young people have not seen it. I mean, everybody is acting as though they're shooting some kind of Oscar-worthy or Emmy, thing. Let's just find a stationary place and let's remain there. Did you understand that if you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea bargain agreement? If for any reason the court does not follow your plea bargain agreement and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call, and the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by entering this plea bargain agreement that you were giving up those rights?
Yes, ma'am.
And did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea bargain agreement in this case?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand if the court were to grant your application for deferred adjudication, if your deferred adjudication were revoked, the court could sentence you up to 1 year in the Bexar County Jail and up to a $4,000 fine? Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses to this offense?
She has, Your Honor.
Do you believe she has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against her?
I do, Judge.
Do you believe she's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
I do, Your Honor.
Ms. Martinez, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea?
No, ma'am.
Has anyone promised you anything other than the plea bargain agreement to get you to enter this plea?
No, ma'am.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived her right to jury trial. Showing you what's entitled plea bargain page. Did you review that page with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
According to the plea bargain agreement, the state is proceeding on the lesser included offense of attempted fraudulent use or possession of identifying information, 1 to 5 items. They're asking that your fine be assessed at $1,500 and it be probated. They recommend deferred adjudication, and there's to be no contact with Gennaro, Gennaro, Locricchio, Locricchio. Did you understand that to be the plea bargain agreement?
Yes, ma'am.
Defense is a plea bargain agreement.
Yes, Your Honor.
State is at the plea bargain agreement.
Yes, Judge.
Next, I'm going to show you the paragraph entitled waiver of appeal. Did you review that paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you electronically sign it in both places?
Oh, I signed it on both sides. Yeah. Was I supposed to sign it on both sides?
You did.
Do you see the paragraph entitled waiver of appeal?
Mm-hmm.
Are you keeping your answers a secret from us?
Yeah.
No, ma'am.
All right, so you need to speak up. I don't know why people are on video speaking low when if I were to see you outside somewhere at a restaurant, people shouting in the restaurant, on their phone loud, but then when questions are being asked in the court, everyone is being silent. So here's the thing, Ms. Martinez. You're going to have to either speak up or either you're going to have to appear in the courtroom. Which do you prefer?
I have a messed up throat.
Here's my question for you. Do you prefer to have your messed up throat appear in the 187 District Court, or do you want to speak up on this Zoom?
Well, I'm speaking as loud as I can. You know,
Why is it I can hear you now and then before I can't hear anything?
Because when I start raising my voice, it goes out.
Really? Okay, that's not believable, but I'll come into your world with that. I'm showing you what's entitled waiver of appeal paragraph. Did you review that paragraph with your attorney?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you sign it in both places?
No, I only signed it in one spot. Yes, I signed it in both spots.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that cannot be appealed are written pretrial. The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, have there been any such motions?
No, Judge.
Next, I'm showing you outside the plea bargain agreement. The state is requesting that your deferred adjudication be for a term of 2 years. There be a TAP evaluation, 120 hours of community service restitution, and the MRT. Did you understand those were recommendations from the state and the court does not have to follow those recommendations?
Yes, ma'am.
Then to the lesser included offense, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest.
State, any evidence to support the defendant's no contest plea?
It offers states 1 and attachments, Judge.
Any objections?
No objections, Judge.
Mr. Martinez, I'm going to show you what's entitled waiver and consent to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you electronically sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by signing that? All right, after reviewing states exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty. All right, Ms. Martinez,
Yes,
why are you attempting to use checks that don't belong to you?
because I need him. I know I should have done it. I was wrong. Shouldn't have done it. I wasn't really thinking it through at the time.
Nope, let me just tell you, you were thinking it through because your name on this check, it says paid to the order of, and it has your name there. So when you get this check, you see that it's not yours. You write your name in the pay to order. You date it. You even put the amount in it. And then you had to write out the amount. So you took time to write out $950 and then sign it. So again, why are you taking things that don't belong to you?
I found it.
I can't hear you.
I found it.
So you're saying you found these checks, and being the upstanding citizen that you are, your thought was, oh, somebody's missing checks. Let me write my name in it and go around cashing checks. That was your thought process?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I can't hear you.
Yes, ma'am.
So again, why are you, because basically this is theft. Why are you stealing? Why are you a thief?
Because
everyone is waiting with bated breath for your answer, and you need to keep your voice up. Why are you stealing?
I wasn't thinking at the time.
No, you were thinking, because it took some thought process to write. What were you thinking when you wrote your name where it says pay to the order of, and you write Marcy Martinez? What were you thinking when you were writing that?
I wasn't writing it.
Oh, so you're saying somebody saw some checks, they found them, and they said, oh my gosh, this person, Marcy Martinez, let me write her name in the pay to order instead of writing my own name. Oh my gosh, let me write it for $950 and let me write $950 and no cents so that Marcy Martinez can have this money for checks that I just found. So if you didn't write your name in this, who wrote your name? Because you just told me that you found these checks. So who wrote your name in? Who are you with who said, hey, Marcy Martinez, let me write your name into it? So who was it?
I don't know.
So now that story sounds even crazier and doesn't make any sense, because then you would have me believe that a complete stranger who doesn't know you writes your name on some checks. Ms. Casares, what's going on with your client?
Your Honor, Marcy, I've spoken to her and she does regret her actions, Judge. I think she really, was in a bad spot at the time and she really regrets what happened, Your Honor. But when I've talked to her about it, she wanted to be able to, she's never had any other kind of felony, and she wanted to be able to get this deferred. It's for 2 years and then try to move forward. But she's
telling me right now, a complete stranger. Well, she found some blank checks, a complete stranger, but she's saying she doesn't know who would write her name on checks. So I guess she wants me to come into her world and believe she found these blank checks. A complete stranger, let's say hypothetically it's Stephanie Boyd, comes up to her and said, hey, I see you have all these blank checks. What's your name? Let me write your name in, forge the other person's signature, and write it for $950. Let me do that for you. That's what she's coming to me and want me to believe that.
If I could go to a breakout room, Judge, with her.
Sure.
Okay.
It's still Thursday. I'm seeing you to number 3. Miguel Nahara. Okay. Thank you. Let me add you back. And Ms. Patrick, as soon as I get the file, we will take care of that.
Thank you, Your Honor. Was I supposed to go to a breakout room? Maybe I misunderstood.
No, on your case, I'm just having the clerks pull the file for me because of what you're asking for.
Very good. Thank you,
So
Your
my
Honor.
understanding, if you all have an agreement, then the court will follow that agreement. I'm just waiting for the file to be full.
Very good. Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay, all right, thank you. All right, thank you. All right, we're going to go back on the record. In 2021 CR 4966, State of Texas versus Marcy Rose Martinez. Did you have a chance to confer with your client, Ms. Caceres?
I did, Your Honor.
All right, so Ms. Martinez, why are you stealing? And you need to unmute, please.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Why are you stealing?
I was going through a rough time in my life and I wasn't thinking at the time. I know I made a mistake and I'll never do it again.
What does that mean, you were going through a rough time in your life? Everybody's had rough times in their lives, financially, otherwise, on the brink of homelessness, but they don't steal
Yeah,
checks.
well, yeah, I know, but I know. I made a mistake, like I said.
So what's your rough time? That's what I'm trying to figure out.
Because I was staying with a friend. And then we needed money. And I needed to pay rent to stay there. Because I didn't have nowhere else to stay.
I mean, I still don't, I don't find your explanation satisfying to the court, but I'd accept that as such. Some people just steal. That's what they do. Sometimes they get caught, sometimes they don't get caught. All right, this is, are you employed?
No, ma'am.
So how are you supporting yourself?
I'm trying to get a job right now.
No, but how are you supporting yourself?
I'll just see how I get by.
Did you have breakfast today? Did you have lunch? Are you having dinner tonight? Where are those things coming from? Because all those things cost money.
I know I'm lucky I have some people, I've been blessed with people in my life that have helped me out.
So that's what I'm asking you. Where or how are you supporting yourself? You don't have a job, so that means you don't have any income coming in.
I help around the house. I help around the house in any way that I can. And that's why I said I got blessed with people in my life that have helped me out like that. And I'm very appreciative for them. Because without them, I don't know where I would be at.
Do you have children?
Yes.
What are their ages?
11, 8.
So 11 and 8, and what else?
And 7.
So how many children do you have total?
3.
Where are your children living?
They're with their aunt.
All right, so when's the last time you had custody of them?
It's been a while.
When you say it's been a while, how long has that been?
In 2017.
Since 2000 what?
In 17.
All right, so what have you been doing with your life that you don't have your children?
Nothing.
All right, there's a reason you don't have your children. Is it drugs? What's going on?
I'm sick. I have seizures, and I cannot. I didn't have their dad. Their dad was in prison, and it's like me being sick, and then I have seizures, and then if they're around me, like, what if something happens while I have them? You know, it's gonna still come back to me. That's why I temporarily signed my rights up, and I signed them over to my sister-in-law. But somehow it turned around and said that I abandoned my kids when I didn't. When I had a paper and we both signed it, so I knew that it wasn't gonna fall back on me, and somehow it still turned around. It still made it look like it was my fault.
Well, when they were placed with the aunt, were you paying child support?
No, ma'am.
So how are they supposed to eat?
Because
How are they supposed to eat? You're not paying child support.
And she has my food stamp. She has the food stamp part. I gave it to her.
there's a whole lot of unpacking that needs to happen here, and it should be unpacked on the civil side. So I'm going to move on. This is what the court is going to do. Court is going to sentence you to a $1,500 fine that will be probated. 2 years deferred adjudication, parenting classes. You're going to provide a UA first thing tomorrow. So there's going to be a UA on August 27th at 9 a.m. And before I request this UA, what are the results going to be?
I'm dirty.
All right, and what have you been using?
Huh?
What have you been using?
Weed.
And what else?
That's it.
All right, you're going to get tested tomorrow. So you're telling me that's all it's going to come back for. And here's the thing about drug testing. I've done a lot of work with people who have been in the throes of their addiction. And what people will do, people will pray, please let me be negative. And if you let me be negative, I'll never use again. Sometimes, whoever your higher power is, be it God or whomever it may be, the answer to that question is no. So before we waste a UA on you, are you telling this court that all it's going to be is marijuana because you're going to get tested? And if you've been using other things, it's not going to be out of your system by tomorrow. So are you telling me it's only marijuana? Because I'm trying to set conditions for you so you can be successful and hopefully you'll have a chance of being in your children's life. But if you're being dishonest with me, then I can't help you. So is it only going to be weed? I need a yes or no so that the record will be clear.
Yes, ma'am.
So that when you come up positive for anything else, we may need to file a motion to revoke. So is it going to be only weed?
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you.
I need to know if it is only going to be weed. If it is more than weed, I need to know. And know this, you are going to get tested tomorrow. And probably whatever you've been using is still going to be in your system. So weed and whatever else you've been using is going to show up. So for the last time, I'm going to ask you, and hopefully you're honest with me, are you only going to test positive for weed?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you're going to do a UA tomorrow. If you don't show up for that UA tomorrow, a warrant is going to be issued. You understand? There will be no excuses. And that UA had better only be for weed. The MRT, 120 hours of community service restitution, 40 hours will be waived if you obtain the COVID vaccine. Here's the thing. I'm not requiring anybody to get the COVID. You don't want to get it, you don't have to. But if you were to get it, 40 hours will be waived. I'm going to want field visits 3 times per month, random. You're going to have employment within 30 days. And there's to be no employment as a home health care provider or any employment involving minors. There's to be no unsupervised contact with minors. And Ms. Casares, I'm doing that because there's something else going on with the fact that she doesn't have custody of her 3 children. I don't know what's happening with that, but I think it's more than just I signed my rights over. I could be wrong, and if I'm wrong and proof can be brought to me and they say, you're wrong, CPS wasn't involved, I will apologize and we will move on. But there's something else that's going on here when you have 3 children and you don't have custody of any of them. You haven't paid child support for any of them. And then she's here on fraudulent use or possession of identifying information, and she's saying her food stamps are going there. I don't even know why she would be receiving food stamps when she doesn't have children with her. So no unsupervised contact with minors. CPS compliance if applicable. regular Zoom reporting or in person. So if something happens and you can't report by Zoom, you need to do it in person. And I'm going to want random UAs. That's if she's negative for anything other than weed. If she's positive for weed, then the test for levels. Rebecca, is there anything else that she needs?
No, ma'am.
Ms. Martinez, is there anything else that you need from the court in order to be successful on this probation?
No, ma'am.
All right, Ms. Martinez, I'm going to show you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it, and did you electronically sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
Because this is a plea bargaining agreement, because I followed your plea bargaining agreement, and because you waived your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Ms. Martinez, here's the thing. You're going to have to support yourself. And by support yourself, what I mean is you need to be responsible for your own food, your own living arrangements. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, I'm going to send you to a breakout room, and I'm going to send you to breakout room number 1. And probation will go over conditions with you. And then once you're there, you can leave after she goes over conditions. And Rebecca, if you could go.